Well, my brother, congratulations on your award. Talk to me about that, brother. How does that make you feel to know that you have received the award for the best debater of the decade?
Man, I felt good prior when I was told I was nominated. I felt good when I found out I was awarded. But you know, having this in my hand, I didn't even realize how good I feel, man. I can't stop cheesing. This means a lot to me, man.
Brother, you didn't come into town for this, so I want to give it to you right now while you're here. That's your award for having the best documentary of the year, of the years. You see what I'm saying? Thank you, brother. Thank you, family. What do you think about that?
I love that. I didn't know how it was gonna look. This is tight. I don't know why I thought
It's not cheap, brother.
it ain't cheap. I'm like, I know you ain't cheap, but I'm like, this is nice. You went all out, brother.
And here you go, my brother. What do you say about that? How do you feel about receiving the Sarnetta TV Award?
Yes, family. It's an honor. It's a real honor to receive this award. And sometimes when you put the work in, you're teaching people about economics. A lot of people now are into economics because of what Garfield talking. You know, they want to push it more. They want to talk about capitalism more. They want to talk about all the things when it do with money and bitcoins and stock markets, just because of the dialogue we had every Wednesday on Sarnetta's TV.
This means a lot to me. I take it serious, and I spent a lot of hard nights, long nights working. You know, people don't realize the sacrifice that my family had to make for me to spend the time writing those books that I was preparing to publish in time for the event, to do PowerPoints on per my travels out the country, to give people the best presentation, to bring as much as the information to life, and to also just show people how serious I take this scholarship.
Man, I love this, brother. I really respect that. Yeah. Hey, so the Sarnetta TV Awards is honoring elders and notables in our community who have served the community with activism and scholarship at a time when the world is marginalizing black leaders. I love that.
So now I just want to say, listen, man, it's a well-deserved award. Definitely, I did bring to the community something that was missing, you know, which was the key. Everybody's mad because I brought it to Sarnetta TV, but why didn't y'all do it before? You know what I'm saying? I did have two great minds in the category, Brother Sutek, and I did have one of my teachers, Dr. Boyce Watkins. I beat him out as far as votes. The people voted for me more than Boyce. So, I mean, Sarnetta showed me the vote count, and I beat him fair and square. You know, so it's a compliment to say, hey, people know about Dr. Boyce Watkins and they voted for Brother Garfield.
And again, I thank the community out there for this award. I'm totally humbled by this, and I just want to say thank you. Can't thank you enough. I'm going to be smiling throughout the night, man. I'm glad I came here physically to pick this up. I really, really, really feel good about this. I didn't even know it was going to feel this good.
Love that, brother.
Thank you, my brother. I had to hit you with that while you was here. I'm glad I was the one to give it to you, you know. All right, now check it out. What two categories are we lacking in that would help free our people, and why?
One of the first things we lack is a plan. We ain't got no plan. Or let me apologize to the ancestors. We do have plans, but we've never tried to execute the plans. We're always trying to come out like we want to be the next Farrakhan and be popular like more than everybody else, instead of trying to say, you know what? I know what Elijah Muhammad did. I might not agree with him 100%, but there's things that he taught economically I agree with. Francis Cress Wilson, Nellie Fuller, Amos Wilson, Boyce Watkins, Claude Anderson with reparations and teaching economics and all that stuff. So not that we don't have a plan, we have not tried a plan. We have not tried anybody's plan. We like Marcus Garvey, but have you tried his plan or his methodology? No. We just want to say, hey, RBG, wear the flag every year, August 17th for Marcus Garvey, but we've never tried his plan. As far as a second thing is, I think that we haven't put ourselves in a position where we could separate. And that thing that it sounds good, I want to separate from the white man. But when it comes to doing it, it's another thing. We don't see you no more. I've asked for 100 black men and women in every state in America. Not asking for 1,000, not asking for 10,000, just 100. A lot of people have responded, but I still don't have the 100 in every state. You see, when it comes to action, people join in. It sounds good, man. I want to be down. But when it's time to do something positive or reflected on what we're doing, we don't want to do it. But those two things I'll say for now. Go ahead, brother.
I'll say this. Well, the two categories I feel we lacking in the community that definitely can do us a tremendous service. The two categories that I know we're lacking in the community that would definitely empower us would be economics and health. Those two run concurrent, because when your economics is not right, there's a direct correlation between poverty and disease. There's direct correlation between low nutrition and bad decision making. So one hand washes the other. You know, I would say health is at the top or at the capstone of all of this, but then you also got to have the funding to be able to have the type of holistic lifestyle to sustain you and your family. So it's going to bring us back to the economics. And when we talk about the economics, a lot of us like to use Pan-Africanism and black nationalism as a scapegoat to defer our attention away from the economic stratagems that were already suggested and inclusive of Pan-Africanism and black nationalism. But somehow the neo-black nationalists, right, as I would call them, the neo-black nationalists will have you believe we can get the revolution started and win void of any economic momentum or certainty. And I disagree with that. So economics and health is definitely at the forefront, in my opinion, to what's hindering us as a community. Because we ain't gonna win no war with high blood pressure and we can barely see our ankles. And so part of the warfare is to get the people to poison themselves, because as I discussed in the previous interview, you have war and you have warfare. The distinction between the two is one is bloody and one is subtle. One is objective, one is subjective. So the goal is to never really go to war. The goal is to employ warfare whereby people will oppress themselves, or they vicariously are doing the works of their slave master or oppressor unbeknown to them. They think they're in control. They think they're buying the things they want to buy. They think they're learning the things they need to learn. And unbeknown to them, they're actually following in the way of those who have them socially engineered. So the public educational system, that's a part of warfare. The vaccination aspect of things and medicine, that's a part of the warfare, right? But guess what? If your wife is giving birth to a child, she's going to think it suffices to go to the hospital. It's going to be hard for that conscious black man to say, hey, I don't think you need to do that, or you shouldn't vaccinate that child, because she has the love and mother instinct right there, convoluted in this scheme as to whether she believes the white man's science or does she believe the brother who probably dropped out of school, but he reading and knows, it sounds like he knows just as much as the person who went to school, and that's conflict of interest. So the warfare is getting people to do your bidding and have them believe that it's their bidding and they're following their own will, moving of their own free will in the court, and unbeknown to them, they're actually following the ways and the footsteps and employing the stratagem of the very slave master that wished them harm and doesn't have their best interests at hand. Economics and health.
Brother Garfield, do you think separating from the white man is the solution? Because you brought up separation. Do you think separating from the white man is the solution for our people?
You see, that's a question that could get a lot of people clapping. You know, yeah. Listen, family, the truth is, we're in a system.
Will that solve the problems of the black race, brother?
No. Because as our brother that got the award at the Black Empowerment, the Son of the TV Awards, our brother Sutek says, you have to kill the nigger. We love the black man, but we got to kill the niggers among us. Death the Negro. I'm sorry. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the only war we can win in America, let me just be clear, is a psychological warfare. And the only way we're going to win that war, we can't win with a gun. So let's get that out of our head, because ain't nobody got more guns or more equipment to kill people, because they've been experimenting on our communities and different countries like Iran and Iraq, or soon to be Iran and North Korea, already on Iraq. But the reality is, separation cannot alone help us when it comes to white supremacy. All right? It has to be a plan in place. Like I've suggested, the abandoned towns a lot of times. So the abandoned towns is one way to get away, but small amount. Yeah, family, yeah, I gotta cut this off too. All right, just to let y'all know, I'm gonna cut this off. We can't show the whole thing. Peace, brother. Yeah. All right, so as far as separation alone, no, because the psychological warfare is when we say, I wish I had a hacker who could hack the police, find out the policeman's address, who killed the young boy or the young girl in the community, so that not to go to his house, but to scare the next police officer that might find the willpower to shoot one of our young brothers and sisters. Because you know what? If I kill another black brother, they might find out my address. So yeah, that's psychological warfare. Alton Maddox taught that. They never taught us that in school, the art of war. They don't teach us that. So now, I know, but let me just say this though. Life insurance is a key. I've said this many times. If we got everybody in the community $1 million life insurance, look at Chicago, 500 people died, bro. Imagine an insurance company paying out $500 million. They would go in that community and restructure that community to make sure nobody kills anybody. They would even help the damn drug dealers. You know what? I'll make a spot for you. Just don't kill anybody. So life insurance is one of the psychological games. All my children got life insurance. I got life insurance. You know, even my children's mothers, I made sure they got life insurance. Because at the end of the day, you got to form a legacy. And not saying we're putting a price tag on our people's lives, but at least die for something. Go ahead, brother.
That's wild. Because if you go down my Facebook line on Brother Polite, Facebook.com, you're going to see how everybody in my New Covenant community is commissioned to have life insurance for the same reason. Because they'd be very reluctant to murder you if they knew we was cashing out each time around. Because and in fact, on Vlad TV, I did an interview and spoke about how Jewish children, when their parents pass away, their allotment is tremendous. And when our parents pass away, the property goes into probate and everything. We'd be lucky if we can inherit a cold or diabetes that they pass down. That's about most we gonna get. So it's very interesting that if we employ that strategy in particular, that I believe they would have to change their whole infrastructure as far as white supremacy is concerned. Because what are you going to do if for everyone I kill, I got $1 million that I got to pay out. As many killings has been taking place. You feel what I'm saying? So, and even if there is no killings, just the fact that it's part of an inheritance. You dig? Because we all going to die inevitably. You see, and this is how we are a step behind every step of the way. So even if you go on Vlad TV, I think he renamed it $1 million. Polite says Jews get $1 million whenever they die, something like that. But when you go into that interview, you hear me saying relatively the same exact thing, and absolutely for the same exact reason. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope.
All right, Brother Garfield. For the Son of the TV Awards, my brother, you came in first and you won the award on Black economics. Here's an economic question for you. What economic plan or strategy can we really uplift in our community?
All right, we got several plans, by the way, and I spoke about that the first time. We got the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's plan. We got Francis Cress Wellington's 9-point plan. We got Nellie Fuller's 9-point plan. We got Boyce Watkins. We got Claude Anderson. We got Amos Wilson. But this is what I'm going to tell everybody. I developed a plan for a 100-man and woman team in every state. Everybody would clean up their credit. They would get trade lines, boost your credit over to 750, because whether you're 750 or 850 don't make a difference when you're borrowing money. And if those 100 people got $150,000 each, that would be a $15 million for each person to spend or have in each state, which is almost over $500 million, $875 million. Now, family, if you got $50 million in each state, you could buy an abandoned town, you could open a grocery store, you could open a day spa and wellness center. There's a lot of things you can do, but the first thing we need to do as black people is take our money out of the white man's or any other culture's pockets. So if it means opening up a regular grocery store, even to buy the woman's feminine products, even to buy underwear. Right now I got on We Buy Black, the underwears I got on, because I stopped wearing Ralph Lauren. So at least I got to wear underwear that a black man makes. I know it's probably the same goddamn material, but it's just the thought of it, family. You know, we got to make changes within yourself. I can't come to you with something if I'm not doing it for myself, but I'm just going to say that if we were able to pull 100 people in 50 states, that's all we need, Sonata. We don't need a bunch of people, because that's when white folks start to infiltrate. Once you start saying you want 10,000 people, 20,000 people, they think it's a Jim Jones situation or a David Koresh. We don't need that. We don't need the Mormon situation. What we need is movement to be inspiration for other people to do the same. So if you're a Muslim or a Hebrew, imagine if ISUPK was to start a group in every state with 100 black men and built out their own grocery stores. We would like, yo, we got to do that too. We got to emulate them. Look at Brother Onk and the Black Dot. They got a cultural center. How many cultural centers do we have from the Moors, from the Muslims, from the Hebrews? Not a shot. From even the RBG community. Shout out to Baba Amin, who had the RBG weekend. They got their own school in Texas, which everybody goes to. Rasta, Hebrew, Christian, everybody goes to that store, and it's a black-centered, African-centered schooling. He has one in South Carolina too. That's legitimate. So now we have foundations to follow all over the country. So as an economic plan, that's where I'm at right now. Go ahead, brother.
We got many plans in our New Covenant community. I'll go over one or two of them, right? For starters, we say everyone should have a trust, be it irrevocable or endowment fund trust or something to that effect, because it can also act as a will, particularly a living trust. And properly funding that trust or retitling your assets or that which you own, you make your trust equitable. And instead of retitling an insurance policy to the trust, you will assign the trust to the insurance policy. That'll give you a lot of tax credit or subsidies. In addition to doing so, now they'll quantify the value of that trust in addition to you receiving the death benefit, which means you'll be able to borrow against the insurance policy. This is when not every life insurance policy can you use as a wealth building device or mechanism, but whole life insurance in particular, you can borrow against that policy, which means while you're alive, you can be able to cash out or use the cash value for that particular policy to indulge or engage. It can be for medical purposes, which set us back a lot of times, or it can be for real estate purposes, which we can truly use to invest and make more money. So in making the trust equitable, and the insurance company is pretty much going to quantify that dollar amount and compound interest to the death benefit, you can go to the next level with that in real time before you pass away. So on one model, we talked about our children inheriting or being the beneficiaries of the same. And this model, you can actually benefit in real time. Now, if you had access to 6 figures or more, what does that tell you that you could do? If you have a proper business model, you have access to 6 figures or more. We're not going to tell you use all 6 figures, but you certainly can use a significant amount of that to get you out of the rat race. That's one. That's the individual. And the reason why we teach to cater to the individual is because we want to have a successful collective as well. Because when it's time for everyone to pool their funds, they all say they broke. So now we got to focus on everybody individually to make sure they up. That's one model. Now there's also the other model. We all can contend that in every, I would say in every state, but let's just say throughout the whole country, we know black people make up about 14% of the population, maybe a little less. Let's do it this way. There has to be at least 10,000 people in the conscious community, in the Christian community, in the Hebrew Israelite community, in the Rastafarian community that say we don't like these conditions, and they could afford $5 a week to put to the side. Now, why is this important? Because we can set up a community endowment fund trust, which really is a prime exemplification of an investment vehicle for people that want to pool their funds to erect institutions such as schools, investments, and other funds is allocated towards the building of that particular infrastructure, and yet other funds are allocated for just miscellaneous. So this would be a community endowment fund trust. And so I spoke about 10,000 people, $5 at a time per week, $20 a month. In 10 months, that's $2 million. I would believe right? It's just a lucky guess. I would believe there's at least 10,000 people in America, even though I believe there's 10,000 people in every state. I believe there's at least 10,000 people in America alone that just simply say the white man's the devil and they got $5 every week. I believe that has to exist. Do you believe that exists?
Yes.
All right. Do you believe there's at least 10,000 people that say the white man's the devil and they got $5 in their pocket to spare every week?
Here you go, Garfield. A lot of our people say, we don't need no damn leader. Y'all don't need a leader. I'm the leader of myself. We don't need a leader in the black community. Does the black community need a leader today? And if so, why? If not, why?
One of the things that made me gravitate to Dr. Ben and to Kemet in the early 90s as a young'un was the fact that you could study on your own and you weren't obligated to a pastor or a leader. You would study and make yourself. Now with the Nawapians, when I learned about them in the 90s, that was one of the things with Dr. York's teachings too. I gotta admit that. It made you have to study on your own. It made you had to learn on your own and think for yourself and study for yourself. So now, with that being said, family, of course, y'all know I don't agree with their teachings. I'm just saying that that's what I like. But I don't think in today's world we directly need leadership. But if we do have a leader, I think too many people want to be leaders. And that's one of the problems. Too many people want to be leaders. Nobody want to put the work in. I'll use Minister Farrakhan as an example. The man has been leading in the community for over 50 years, giving his life for us. And we have not... he has created followers instead of people who actually put the work in and support him. So Minister Farrakhan is a very great, he has great oratorial skills, great leadership, because to rebuild what Elijah Muhammad did, he has to be a good leader. That's right. So whether we like him or not, we just got to give him the man his props. But I believe he has too many followers and not enough doers, because if he did have enough doers...
Do the black community need a leader, brother?
I already did answer, brother.
Answer it again. I missed it.
I answered it by saying that we don't need, as far as today, we have enough leadership already. We don't need leadership. We need people that's ready to put in the work. All right? And that's pretty much it.
You need to hear this crazy stuff he just said.
What did he just say?
I think Polite, I know Polite will disagree with that.
Okay, let's
What's
find
that?
out.
He said, as of today, we don't need leadership. We got enough leadership. Okay, say you say.
We have enough leadership today. We don't need no more new leadership. That's what you're asking. No, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me say this.
Now he gonna change up.
No, everybody wants to be a leader, but they don't want to put the work in. That is my point. Okay. So now they see Polite shining. They might see Garfield a little shine here. They might see Captain Tazaria. They might see whoever, but they want to emulate those people instead of actually putting in work. The community today, we need we need leadership, but we don't need a leader.
Brother, I 1000% disagree with you. Our people are like children, brother. We are like children. And the asses and the masses of our people, we follow anything. We're the only people, Garfield, that say things like that we don't need a leader. Meanwhile, you look at every nationality, they all have leadership. And this is, no, hold on. I gave you the mic. Let me finish. When you look at every other nationality, brother, they have leadership. You see what I'm saying? That's why they don't go through the things that we go through. They have mentorship. Now let Polite go.
Nah, I'm rocking with y'all. I'm gonna get in. This double dutch right now, so I can understand everything that's going on. I think what we need Brother Garfield to do is make a distinction, definition-wise, amongst leadership and leaders, because you said we need leadership, not leaders. So I hear you say leadership, but I know you saying it in a context where it's consisting of leaders. Right. So how do we discern amongst leadership and leaders in terms of what you're saying?
Perfect. Very good question. When you talk about leaders, we already have enough leaders. The problem is everybody in the community. You know what? Let me respond to something you said first. I got to get this out. Hold on. I got to respond to this first. Hold on. Would you consider Dr. Umar a leader? No. Would you consider Brother Polite a leader? No. All right.
with
leadership qualities.
exactly.
Now, didn't I just say leadership? We don't necessarily need leaders, so now you agree with me. Look at this guy. And I'm the debater. Listen to what I'm saying. We don't ever see the Chinese community running around saying we need leaders. Well, stop. Let me finish. We don't ever see the Indians. I'm talking about the Indian folks from over India who live here. I've never seen the Arab people running around in America saying we need Arab leaders. Have you ever seen that, brother? Be honest. Have you ever seen Arab people saying that they're leaders? Brother, I'm trying to tell you that we are a unique. This is why the Hebrew Israelites always have an argument, man. Because we are the only people in the motherfucking Western Hemisphere that cry for all the bullshit. That's the truth. We don't need leaders, bro. We have all the plans. We had Garvey. Even if we don't agree with Noble Drew Ali, you don't find no more in supermarket. Why do they need a leader? When the dude had a plan. All you got to do is how did Farrakhan be so great? What did he do? He tried to do everything Elijah did. How come the Moors not doing everything that Noble Drew Ali did? He had stores, he had the magic show, he had he had the oils, he had this. If you have this oil, you grow muscles and all this shit. Nobody's doing it. So they need another Noble Drew Ali to stand up and say, "Oh, I'm Noble Drew Ali reincarnated," like what they used to do back in the 30s. No. Bro, we don't need no leaders. We need leadership.
Well, I'll beg to differ, though I totally understand what he's saying. There may be a saturation.
Excuse me 1 second, son.
There may be a saturation of people that want to be leaders, right? And not taking the prerequisite steps towards becoming leadership. But I would simply say, we need leaders. We need leaders. And the whole reason those movements were powerful because there was a leader.
Exactly.
That's it. You know, if you can't reference Noble Drew Ali and fail to acknowledge he was a leader, that's why you referencing him in terms of the Moors. You can't have Moors without that Drew Ali guy there, or Deuce Ali. You're not going to have Nation of Islam without Master Fard Muhammad and Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because there's leadership in position. And when Malcolm X branches off, he's a leader, and everyone's walking with him. And when Dr. Khalid Muhammad branches off, he's a leader, and he's facilitating the same. You can't have a Dr. York unless he's a leader. You can't have a New Wapian community unless there was a leader there. So what I'm saying is,
Well, if Dr. York passes, why?
that's why you're supposed to have a successor. You're supposed to have a successor.
It's like Elijah and Farrakhan, you're saying they need that leader.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I need you to show me a country where nobody got to be a president, nobody got to be a prime minister. The people just there out there following the plan. No, you're going to need some kind of Congress, some kind of cabinet, some kind of president, some type of governor, some type of borough president, some type of mayor. All of them are leaders in their own capacity to make sure this thing don't fall apart. So you need leaders. Well, I understand what you're saying. Our situation is super saturated with people who don't follow through with the implementation of that which the leaders brought, and maybe even make it more refined over time so we can solidify the deal. I agree with that. And I understand you saying, look, we got this person, we got this person, we pretty much got the tools or the resources, right? No, we need leadership. I agree with what you're saying, because I understand what you're saying, up until the point where we don't need leaders. We need leaders, because anytime you make your leadership argument, you're going to have to reference the leader that is the impetus for the conversation in the first place.
You know what? I agree with you to the point where I say that, just like I gave the example, I never hear the Arab community say we have a leader. I never said none of them.
And that's because they have leaders.
And the thing is, they may have leaders as far as the mosque, they have an imam or whatever, right. But as far as them running their community economically, I don't think there's no said leader.
Let me say this.
And I see that, and I say this. Hold on a second.
This is what I'm gonna tell you though. The reason why you're not hearing the other communities with that chant is because they're not disenfranchised like us. They haven't been dislodged. They're not suffering from their acculturation process. No.
Only culture now.
Yes, we're disenfranchised in the hells of America. 3Ks. Hold on, Garfield. I know you are not acting. I was about to say. I know he's not oblivious to our diaspora. So what I'm saying is, we gotta understand that we find ourselves in the jam so much so the demand for leadership is so warranted that we yelling for it and we calling for it because we're in a situation unparalleled and uncharacteristic and very much contrast immensely to the likes of everybody else walking around here. So we have to call for your leadership. That's right, we're in a bad space. So only a leader can facilitate culture in ways that's going to take us to the next level. What's up, G? Only a leader can take us to the next level. You feel what I'm saying? So only a leader can take us to a point where we can take things to a level uncharacteristic to everybody else. You feel what I'm saying? You can't look at other people and say to yourself, you know what? Everybody else got it easy. You can't say that. It's us that's in a situation when you turn around, you got to say, oh shit, damn. Our whole situation is pushed back. Our whole situation is to the point, you know what? We can't even conceive what to do, how to move left, how to move right. We're in a bad space. And that's why you need leadership. That's why you need somebody in a space that can say, you know what? I got the juice. I got the sauce. I can take you to a place that nobody else can take you. Only a leader could do that. Nobody else can finesse a situation to empower or motivate other people towards change. Nobody could do that. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Only an individual with that spark to put that in everybody else makes them say that.
Exactly.
You can't expect the community to just wake up and decide they're going to do this by themselves.
You're right.
You need a person put that in people's chests. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Definitely.